typically one for essentials videos anymore, because over time I've learned and seen that someone's essential is someone else's like rare wear. But recently, over my time here in Portugal and Croatia, I've noticed as the weather gets warmer that I gravitate to the same pieces over and over again. So if you plan on traveling to Europe, to the warmer parts of Europe over the summer month, I've put together a list of items that I wouldn't leave home without, but I've kept them pretty general so that, you know, you can really tailor them to you and that it's like an essential, but you know, that you can adjust for yourself. Today's video is in partnership with a really cool, responsible Danish brand called Organic Basics. I've worked with them before, and I think they are perfect for this video because I will be sharing their newest swimwear line in just a minute, which is, I mean, obviously an essential. This first one is kind of obvious. I'm pretty sure I've mentioned it before in any hot weather video, but anything in a cotton or a linen, or you could even get a blended cotton linen fabric if you like. Oh my God, I'm getting splashed. This is fantastic. It feels great. Anyway, this is kind of obvious, as I mentioned, because these are natural fibers that keep you cool. I prefer getting them in separates because, especially if you're working with a smaller travel capsule, it's just a lot more versatile. They're easier to mix and match. But of course, like, this is your essential. Couple of caveats though, with linen especially, is that it's gonna wrinkle, okay? It's gonna wrinkle no matter what you do. So if you're someone who, you know, wrinkled fabric really bothers you, then don't go for linen. If you are not a linen person, if you are like a non-wrinkly clothing wearer person, then I would look for a cotton linen blend, or if you can find it, a silk linen blend, because this will carry the properties of cotton and silk, which will give it a nicer drape. Get some of those nice cooling properties with a nicer drape, if that's for you. My second essential is Chic swimwear. Even if you have zero plans of going to a beach or a pool or something like that on your hot weather European vacation, you never know when you will stumble upon a seriously amazing beach or like random hidden lagoon that is just like begging you to dive in. I actually pack my swimsuit in my carry-on. Chic swimwear is a must, in my opinion, which is why I'm excited to add this Organic Basics Free Swim Bikini to my travel capsule. This gorgeous navy blue bikini is made up of 78% recycled nylon, and it's ethically made in Portugal. I love this style because it's got the perfect amount of coverage versus cute for a bikini. It's the same fit and comfort as my Organic Basics triangle bra, which I love. I'm wearing a medium in the top and an extra small in the bottom. I would say the bottoms fit slightly large, so double check the measurements chart. Organic Basics has expanded their reswim sizes to go from XXS to XXL, and they've added SML plus sizes in the tops for anyone who is in between sizes, ensuring a better fit. As with all my sponsored content, I hope this introduces you to a brand or product that can work for you when you need to fill a specific wardrobe gap, especially for basics, layers, or everyday wear. If you're interested in adding new swimwear to your wardrobe this year, you can always use the discount code ALYSSAXB for 10% off, and I'll also leave it in the description box below. This next one, also probably a little bit obvious, but I've come to change my mind on a couple of these. Comfortable sandals or sneakers, obviously. And you know what? It doesn't even have to be a sneaker. It could be a walking shoe. Normally, I am not a sandal person at all, especially if you're in a city. Like, your foot is so close to the ground, it gets dirty. Ugh, no thank you. But there is a certain point when it gets really, really hot, and the aeration of your foot has a lot of good benefits. This is what I would go for. If you're gonna get a walking sandal, make sure it's got a nice thick sole that is really malleable. The ones that I recently purchased, especially because I hurt my knee and it was really hot, and I still wanted some really good stability, I found these over at M.A. Parsons. They've been on my shopping list for about a year and a half, but they also provide really nice stability, especially because there's a lot of stairs, there's a lot of hills, there's a lot of things which you can trip over and perhaps fracture your patella if you're as lucky as I am. Also, you know, on those mornings, if you're at the hotel and you want to go down for breakfast and you don't want to like fully dress in your like exploration gear, then you don't have to. You can just throw on your sandals, you'll still feel chic, but you won't have to be like fully dressed. I don't know, that's just a little pet peeve of mine, like the what do you wear in the lobby breakfast thing. I don't know. Sneakers, let me tell you. You want to look a little bit less like a tourist. I would look for sneakers that perhaps have a little bit more of that interesting detail. These ones have a really cool like vintage vibe. They've got an interesting colorway that works with my travel capsule. So if you look for something that feels a little bit more considered and that really works with what you already have, it can look a lot less like touristy and functional. I would look for a sneaker that is breathable, that has a nice kind of mesh detail so that it's nice and light. I would try and stay away from a leather sneaker at this point simply because your foot just gets so hot. The other thing that I've been looking for more recently in a sneaker is a sneaker with a little toe lift. I've found most recently that if you get those kind of clunky sneakers with a heavier sole, I know they're popular, I know they're super cute, I know most of us probably have a bunch in our closet already, but now I'm a little bit more worried about that big chunkiness getting caught on like all of the uneven stones and things like that. So I recently purchased these Asics. No, they are not eco-friendly. They are not green. I am so sorry. But even with my running shoes, when I do my regular running, I tend to just prioritize my own health and like what works for me best. This is probably one of the only areas where I make concessions in terms of my values. Okay, next. You've heard me say this before. Sunnies. I tend to bring two, and I always make sure they are very different in styles. I brought this round pair. They feel very vintage, super laid back. They're softer, you know, rounder. They've got a little bit of gold. And then I've got my Dior's, which are ancient, but I still love them. And they're a little bit sharper, more bold, more glam. So just by switching out these accessories, I feel like sunglasses are always so overlooked. But by switching them out, you can really change the vibe of your outfit without having to change all your clothes. So I just think they are such a good workhorse in a travel wardrobe. I think it's definitely worth it to bring two different kinds. I don't think you need more than that. In the same vein, hats. Two different hats, my ball cap and just like a nice classic straw fedora. And I am loving the versatility that these allow me with my limited travel wardrobe. I mean, they both go with everything, but similarly to my sunglasses, as soon as you switch out the hat, it gives a completely different feeling to the outfit. It doesn't have to be a ball cap, doesn't have to be a straw fedora like mine. You choose the two different style personalities that are seemingly like always on the top of your spectrum or your three words. And yeah, go with that. I think you'll find so much versatility from them. In my video where I talked about things that I've learned from living in Europe style-wise, bags, sunglasses, and shoes. This is like the trifecta of good European style, okay, in my opinion. So where am I going with this? Bags. I think in addition to your hat, your sunnies, and everything else I've listed, bring at least one really good, well-conditioned bag, like something that works with everything and not something that feels like a last-minute throw-on. I think this has to feel really considered. It doesn't have to be the trendiest thing. It doesn't have to be the newest or the most expensive. It's kind of like the sneakers in that if it's in a colorway that is suiting your capsule, it will already feel chic no matter how or what you're wearing it with because it looks considered, it looks pulled together. And of course, it has to be functional. What I have found really great about my vintage bag I found in Portugal is I love how I can swap out the straps and carry it two ways. So in addition to like hats and sunnies having completely different style vibes, we often overlook how the way you carry your handbag can also completely change the feel of your outfit. It even just changes the way you walk, you know? If you've got a crossbody or something that hangs on your shoulder, your hands free, you can take photos, you can like put your hands in your pockets, which always makes me feel really cool, even though I'm not. You know, or if you're holding it like a top handle, it's a lot more ready for evening. It feels a little bit more ladylike and romantic. So I would look for a bag that has at least two different ways that you can wear it. Or perhaps look for an attachment that will give you that versatility for a bag that you already own. And one final thing, especially when it comes to warm weather clothing, a lot of it is loose and fits off the body, feels really relaxed, and especially with sneakers, you feel a little bit more relaxed in your outfits. So with a handbag, I do tend to look for one that has a little bit of structure, that, like, you know, sense of polish. How many times have I said that on this channel? Anyway, next are, actually this is my last one, a backpack. So on this trip, I have two with me. I have a very functional one that is canvas, it's padded, so it's really great for all of my technical equipment because I'm also working. And then I have my incredible made in Canada leather backpack, which is convertible, works on the shoulder as well. I think which backpack you bring entirely depends on the kind of vacation or holiday you plan on having. So that is what I have for you today. I hope you enjoyed today's video. I hope this list of essentials helps you feel ready for your next warm weather vacation. Thank you so much to Organic Basics for sponsoring today's video. I will leave that discount code for you in the description box below. Give this video a thumbs up if you liked it. If you learned something new, hit subscribe if you haven't already, and I will be back with another slow fashion video. Ciao!